the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts Maurice, Patton, and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk.
Welcome into the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show as we head into the third week of postseason high school football action. I'm Maurice, Patton. That's Wade Neely. We are presented by the 10-Pin Alley Eat Play Party and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk. Wade, again, we're headed into the third week of the postseason. We are down to two teams in our area, one of which will be participating in the state quarterfinals, one of which will be participating in the state semifinals because it's a different setup for Division I and Division II. More teams in Division I, thus quarterfinals this week. Fewer teams in Division II, thus semifinals. And one step from Chattanooga, which is the important thing.
Yeah, the silver and gold balls, they're not all the way out of the trophy case just yet, but man, they are in sight for a lot of the teams still here in Middle Tennessee, and especially our two in Southern Middle Tennessee. So things get a little more intense each and every single week, and we saw it last week. You kind of have to dial that intensity meter up, and we'll see it certainly this Friday as well.
No question. Looking forward to what we get to see this Friday again with our local teams. But also want to obviously take a look back at how our local teams fared and how they got to this week, or unfortunately in one case, didn't get to this week. So we will be taking a look back at the second round or the quarterfinals of the state playoffs when we come back here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10-Pin Alley and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones and Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores.
Welcome back to the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show presented by 10-Pin Alley Eat Play Party and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans, don't let fans drive drunk. Again, that's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Wade, Columbia Academy has been a wrecking ball, particularly in the first half of their two playoff games. Round one, they scored 49 first half points, defeated the Kings Academy here in Columbia 49-8. This past weekend, for the second straight week, they scored 36 first quarter points. They scored 50 first half points, and they stunned, to say the least, Trinity Christian out of Jackson 56-21.
Yeah, talk about putting the game away early. We've seen Columbia Academy do this at various points all season, but it feels like they're on a roll offensively and playing well across the board. Taking care of business and taking care of business early, which, as we know, obviously good to get some guys some rest, but also important to develop some younger guys who will be thrust into this same role, probably this time next year.
Absolutely. They got some guys in the second half this past weekend that you would not see in a four-quarter ball game. And against a team that's Trinity is a good ball club, man. They came in here 7-4, and that's a good ball club. And to get up the way they did as quickly as they did was really pretty shocking. And so, Columbia Academy playing with a lot of confidence right now, like you said, getting some folks out that are going to be vital for them to continue to move forward. And so it was all gravy for CA Friday night in a 56-21 win over Trinity Christian. Richland yet to be scored upon in postseason play. 35-0 win over McEwen this past week after defeating West Carroll 37-0 to open postseason play in Class 1A.
Yeah, how about the Richland Raiders? Kind of like Columbia Academy after week 10, they had the region championship kind of dangling right there for the taking, and they let it slip through their fingertips versus Eagleville. But then they've been on a roll. Very convincing win to claim that title in week 11. And then, to your point, have yet to be scored upon in both postseason games. And this was a game Friday night that Richland really just set the tone early. Jake Sands ends the night with 4 touchdowns, but he ran the opening kickoff back. And, teams can rally and teams can overcome a little adversity, but something about lining up and seeing another team run the opening kickoff back 90 yards got to be demoralizing. And Richland took a really good McEwen team behind the woodshed by the end of that game.
And again, they've not given up a point yet here in the postseason. We've talked a lot about Richland's offense. Blaine Woodard running things, coming up on 2,000 passing yards now. Jake Sands, obviously. We've not talked a whole lot about the Richland defense this year, and apparently they have they've taken that personally.
They've taken a little bit of offense, and I had a chance to sit down with Coach Nick Patterson earlier this week, and that was exactly the question I asked him. I was like, hey, yeah, everybody knows about your offense, but what about these guys? And he kind of had that little smile on his face like, yeah, we can play some pretty good defense too. But to your point, it was a fantastic effort on that side of the ball. McEwen had came in rolling as well. Yeah, the win versus West Carroll was nice in the sense that it was a historic win for Richland. First playoff win in nearly 20 years. But this one was the one that was more impressive to me because they took care of business versus a really good team. And Richland kind of continues to float through uncharted territory right now in terms of being this deep in the postseason. So vibes are at an all-time high in Linville.
Took advantage of some McEwen miscues. Jaden Pryor and Hudson Greer each with interceptions in that win. So Raiders getting it done on both sides of the ball and continuing to move forward.
Good win for them. They continue to play well. Like you said, both sides of the ball. The special teams, I think that's the 4th now kickoff return they've had this year. They've got impact players across the board. They are a good football team. They got a big challenge we'll talk more about later this week. But, man, they're playing some of their best ball of the season at the absolute most critical time.
Offense, defense, special teams.
Getting it done.
There we go. Probably one of the best games in the state this past weekend as Giles County goes east to Decatur, taking on the Meigs County Tigers. Unfortunately, did not go the Bobcats' way. 24-21 Meigs County with the win there.
Heck of a game. 2 young football teams that were ready to play this game. Meigs had this game circled for almost an entire year after Giles County defeated them in the quarterfinals last year. And from the moment you set foot on campus, everybody let you know that they were ready for revenge, all the way up to their PA announcer who was getting the crowd extra amped, extra motivated. It was a classic high school football team. It was rock versus rock. Both teams like to run the football. Both teams are adept at stopping the run. And at the end, Meigs had one extra possession thanks to an onside kick to start the game. That probably was the difference. But man, it was one of the top 10 high school football games I've had the chance to broadcast, and doing this 15 years for Giles County. That was right there in terms of drama for both teams.
Tough loss for Giles County, finishing up the year 6-6 with that loss. But you feel like David O'Connor is going to have something up his sleeve, because Giles County doesn't rebuild, they reload.
Yeah, the phrase from back even in the preseason for that coaching staff was, go ahead and get your licks in now, because this was a very – Giles County started 2 or 3 freshmen for much of the season on the line. They started 2 or 3 freshmen at skill positions. I mean, this is about as young of a Giles County team as you will ever see. To that point, they're only going to get better. They still return some skill players for next year. And Alcoa is now gone from 3A. So the future is bright for Giles County, even though they did lose to Meigs, who would hypothetically – this would be a wild scenario. Hypothetically, if Giles met Meigs next year, it now wouldn't be till the semis. So you could have played them, and it's an odd year next year. So they would have to go to Meigs for a 3rd straight year, having met in the 2nd, the 3rd, and now potentially the 4th. Still a long way to get there, but Giles County is going to be in decent shape going forward.
Absolutely. When we come back here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, we'll talk a little bit about what's coming up. Stay tuned when we come back.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones and Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services, from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores!
Welcome back to the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, presented by 10 Pin Alley and the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Before we get into our upcoming playoff games, let's take a quick look at our area stat leaders, beginning with our rushing leaders. Our leader, Monte Baldwin, is the only, well, Nash Petty's still going. Most of our guys obviously have wrapped up their season, so these numbers won't change a whole lot. But Monte with a big 21 carry, 196 yard 3-touchdown effort in that Trinity Christian win. Again, all of that in the second half.
Taking care of business.
Gets him up to 1,758 yards and 20 touchdowns on the year. He is a good game away from 2,000 yards. And it ain't like he ain't capable.
Yeah, could bust loose at any given moment. So that number is very subject to change with him and that big playability.
No doubt. Nash Petty with a big night for Richland, as did everybody in that 35-0 win. He is upward of 800 yards, 10 touchdowns on the year for him as well. So this Richland team continuing to churn out numbers offensively as well. Passing, speaking of Richland and numbers, speaking of 2,000 yards, Blaine Woodard, next pass could put him over that mark. 1,980 passing yards, 18 touchdowns, just 5 picks for the Richland gunslinger. Stephen Neves, upward of 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns for Columbia Academy. So our top 2 passers in the area are still at it, and both, again, eyeing 2,000-yard seasons, which, again, at the high school level, you're seeing more of those numbers now. You had not seen those, and we've talked all year about not seeing that in Linville.
Yeah, especially for a program, as we mentioned all year, that does not put a ton of emphasis on passing the ball. This has been such a fun kind of revolution offensively, and Woodard has obviously been the key catalyst for that. Richland's had some good quarterbacks over the last 20 years, but they have not had all the pieces put together like we've seen, which has led to Woodard pulling the strings and doing a great job.
One of those strings is Jake Sands, who, speaking of milestone numbers, he's probably 1 catch away, roughly, from 1,000. 960 receiving yards for Jake Sands, 7 touchdowns. He leads our area receivers. Harrison Brownlee, 838 receiving yards, 11 touchdowns. Again, hats off to Corbin Reynolds down at Loretto. His season is over with, just short of 800 yards, but a dozen scores. So Loretto certainly knew where they wanted the ball to be when it was in the air. But, again, we're seeing some numbers out of some of these guys that haven't really been seen in this area in a while. So kudos to these folks for taking advantage of the talent they got at their disposal.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's the key thing for me is we use Richland as an example. Like I said, they've had some good quarterbacks at their disposal. They've had some good receivers and some good running backs at times. They haven't had that collective unit, and they haven't had the offensive line play that has allowed them to do. I think Coach Nick Patterson, you got to tip your cap to him for taking advantage of that and putting it all together. How easy would it be, right? If you've got a long story tradition of running the football, just to say, well, we'll just keep running the football. But kudos to that staff and kudos to a lot of area coaches for being able to think on the fly and get things kind of where they are this season.
Going forward, Friday, Division IIA semifinal action. Donaldson Christian comes to Columbia Academy. The Wildcats 10-2 on the year. Columbia Academy 9-3. Among those 9 wins is a 28-7 win over Donaldson Christian back in week 5, right here in Columbia. So Columbia Academy hopes is a return to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, this is going to be a really hard-nosed football game and worthy, obviously, of a semifinal. I think the Wildcats will come in very hungry. They kind of got bounced and kind of smacked by Nashville Christian right at the end of the regular season, and then they come in and say, you know what, that's not who we are. That's not how we're approaching the rest of the year. And they had to, grind out a win a week ago, but Columbia Academy, man, it's hard to go against Columbia Academy the way that they've been playing on all 3 phases of the game right now.
In Class 1A, Richland has to go on the road, which they've not had to do here in these first 2 games. But not only do the 9-3 Raiders have to go on the road, they have to go to undefeated defending state champion McKenzie.
Going to be a tough one. McKenzie is as good as advertised. To your point, they're like Page, right? They've been in the title game 3 years in a row, winning one of those, losing a couple. But the fact that you get that far, they're 1A royalty. And their defense is really, really good. Their offense is better than their defense, which is the sad part for Richland. So it will be a monumental task for Richland, who has not gone on the road since way back on Friday, October the 4th. That was their last road game. They had a massively backloaded home schedule in the regular season. So it's going to be tough. The good news is if you knock McKenzie off, it's one of those deals, you're probably not playing anybody any better the rest of the way. So load it up, roll up your sleeves. It is going to be a fun one over in West Tennessee Friday night.
When we come back here on the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, Wade will be sitting down with Richland coach Nick Patterson to get his thoughts on this matchup on Friday night. Stay tuned.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones and Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots, and he scores!
And now, ladies and gentlemen, we are joined. It is our distinct honor and privilege to welcome in the Richland Raider head football coach, fresh off another shutout victory, this time in the second round of the TSSAA Class A state playoffs, where they knocked off McEwen. He is the man, the myth, the legend. He is Raiders head coach Nick Patterson. Coach, good afternoon. How you doing today?
All doing good. A little bit busy, but glad to be busy this time of year. So, it's well worth it.
Absolutely. That's a trade-off, I would imagine, that most football coaches across the state are kind of glad to have, right? You want to be busy this time of the year, right?
Yes, sir. A lot going on, planning. Got a big trip ahead Friday and planning practice, that sort of thing. But, beats the alternative of taking up equipment and that sort of thing. We're still playing football late in November, so that's good things happening.
Hey, no doubt about that. And Coach, real quickly before we'll talk about this week as well, but I kind of want to wind it back a little bit. What can you tell us about Richland's playoff run thus far? You guys have had two dominant shutout performances. First, blanking West Carroll 37-0, and then made it look really easy versus a very good McEwen team this last Friday night at Wayne Hobbs Stadium.
Well, just, credit to our seniors, my defensive staff for, the two goose eggs. Just playing pretty good ball right this second and believing in what we're doing and believing in each other. So, it's just our community has been a big support for us too. So, just all those factors have led to where we are right now and the success we've had. But, played two hard-nosed football teams and, came away with goose eggs. So we were excited about that. Just again, hats off to my defensive staff and the job they've done and getting these guys ready to play. It's just hopefully we can keep it rolling.
It'll be fun, and it's been fun thus far. Since you mentioned defense, Coach, Mo and I have talked a lot about your offense and the numbers you guys have put up this season, but then we're both kind of cracking up that it's the defense that really is stepping up big in the postseason. Kind of maybe give us a little more on what those guys have meant to your team all season long and kind of how they have progressed as the year's gone on.
Well, they have, and we've played a pretty tough schedule throughout the year with some higher classification opponents and that sort of thing. So, they've been put to the test and just grown up each and every week. We run kind of a multifaceted scheme, and so a lot going on with it, and the kids have to really study and prepare hard each week, and they've done that. And just kind of grinded out and gotten a little better each week as we've went on. So they've done a good job of getting us the ball back and swarm tackling. The biggest thing really, not just our defense but our team overall. We pride ourselves on being a true team. We don't rely just on any one person or that sort of thing. We've got a whole group of guys that are dedicated to getting it done and getting better each and every week. So, as long as we can keep doing that, we think we got a good shot.
Yeah, you guys have been playing well on both sides of the ball. And final comments, I guess, on the first 2 weeks of the postseason. What has it been like playing in front of that crowd at Wayne Hobbs Stadium? That's a community that has longed for many, many years, well before you even set foot on campus. They have longed for postseason success. What's it been like being able to win not but one but two games in front of that home crowd?
Well, just exciting times. The whole community is excited about it, and we've had huge crowds both weeks, and so that's been good. It's been a great atmosphere, and just they really gotten behind these guys, and they have every year. This year's no different. It's just giving them a little bit more to cheer about and cheering a little bit longer. So that's been good. But I imagine we'll travel, really well when we go to McKenzie Friday. But it's definitely exciting times over at Wayne Hobbs Stadium and here in the Richland community for sure.
It has been a fun ride thus far. Let's kind of break down very quickly here. McKenzie, we obviously know, undefeated, has really roughed up a lot of opponents. They appear to be one of the certainly top teams in Class A. How do you as a coach and as a coaching staff, how do you guys approach a game like this, knowing you have maybe your toughest test of the entire season in the biggest game of the year? Does your strategy change at all from a mechanic standpoint, or do you kind of just go to work just like usual in your mind?
Well, we're going to go to work. We knew going into the season who McKenzie was. I think everybody does. They've been in the state championship game for the last several years now, and they do a great job over there. And they've got some really good players. And we saw them in a 7-on-7 down at UNA this summer, and our guys kind of knew that's where we wanted to be, and that this was the round we'd probably see them in if we could get there. And we're excited about that opportunity. They are a great football team, and they got great tradition, on their side. But they put their pants on the same way we do, and I really think that they were pretty mirror images of each other in terms of schemes on both sides of the ball. So, we're going to line up and play football and see what happens.
Yeah, looking forward to this one. It should be a fun showdown too. Like you said, in many ways, mirror images of each other. And I guess that is, Coach, when you think of single A football, you think of teams that really just like to roll their sleeves up and play smash mouth ball. But I find it fascinating that this matchup in particular, there are two really good quarterbacks on the sidelines for both in terms of Blaine Woodard for you guys, but then also Tate Serber for McKenzie as well.
They are, and most everybody around the state knows who Tate is. He's been there and done that, and kind of gotten the accolades. Blaine's kind of come on the scene this year. I know who he was. Our team knows who he was for sure, but had just a tremendous year for us. he's the last guy that leaves the locker room after every practice and every game, sweeping the floor, cleaning, doing whatever needs to be done. So he's not just an outstanding football player, just an outstanding young man in, all aspects of his life, in the classroom and community and everywhere. I think he's hopefully going to work to be a teacher and a coach one day. So I'm excited about getting him back one day when his playing days in college is done, hopefully. But, just stat wise, he's right behind Tate. I think they're 1, 2, and 3. The kid from Clay County being in that mix as well. They've just had phenomenal seasons. And then hopefully, we're going to have another good, solid game Friday night.
Coach, as we get ready to get out of here, what changes for you guys, if anything, routine wise? Y'all have made some long road trips. I remember I went with you guys to the FACS game a couple of years ago, a ridiculously long road trip. But how does your game plan or your preparation, if any, change knowing you're going to be on the road for this game after 2 at home?
Well, really not just 2 at home. We've been at home for the last 6 weeks or 5 weeks. Our final 3 games were at home. So it's
regular
been a while
season, yeah.
Since we've gotten on the road. But, the week of preparation will be the same. We'll probably get out of here early Friday morning and have a send-off and that sort of thing. And then we'll go and do a walkthrough somewhere and eat somewhere. Try to get over there early enough to get out and walk a little bit and get our legs back underneath us. But other than that, we won't change a whole lot in terms of what we've done. It's just go and play. It's the quarterfinals of the football playoffs. And, you got to show up and put the football down and play.
I love it, Coach. I know you're a busy man this week, so we'll let you get out of here. Thank you so much for taking some time. We've enjoyed keeping tabs on Richland football all season long, and we certainly have enjoyed following the postseason success these last 2 weeks. We're hoping we get to do it again next week. Best of luck on Friday night over at McKenzie.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Coach. That was Raiders head coach Nick Patterson breaking things down as Richland gets ready to hit the road. Should be a showdown of epic proportions as the Raiders and Rebels do battle this Friday in McKenzie. Back after this here on Main Street's Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, presented by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party, and also by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office, which reminds you that fans don't let fans drive drunk. Mo and I return right after this.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones and Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue.
I'm Maurice Patton. This is Seth Anderson, third-year Columbia Academy football coach. Seth Anderson has the Bulldogs back in the Division 2A state semifinals for the second straight year, so we figured it'd be kind of prophetic. Hang out with Winston, the Bulldog, here as CA gets ready to host Donaldson Christian, one win away from Chattanooga and the Blue Cross Bowl. First time in program history. Coach, appreciate you taking some time with us, taking some time after some early preparation for this matchup with Donaldson Christian. How, the fact that you've already played them once, advantage, disadvantage, what is that?
You know, having some familiarity with them definitely helps. Obviously, we know they're a different team than what they were on September 20th. We're a different team. You know, we both had, you know, half a season to mature and grow as a team. And you know, so you can look back and kind of evaluate some of the things that we did, some things they did. But it'll be a different game Friday night.
28-7 here on September 20th. They've only lost, what, once since then, I guess?
Yes, sir.
Right?
Yes, sir.
You guys both lost to Nashville Christian. You've only lost once since then, I guess, because you started the year 2-2, lost in week 2 to Webb, lost in week 4 to Huntington. Huntington's still playing,
Yes,
which
sir.
is got to be a pretty good feeling as well.
They're a good team. You know, Huntington, we knew going down there this year was going to be tough. We knew what type of team they brought back from last year when they came up here and beat us last year, and you know they're tough, and they got a big matchup this week with Milan. That'd be a fun game to watch.
This should be a fun game to watch.
Should be, yes, sir.
You don't want it to be too much fun.
No. You know, it will be. It's going to be a tight game. Two good teams going at it. You know, DCA is really well coached. They got great players. They've had a great program for several years now. So really excited about this Friday.
You guys have really gotten the playoffs off to a great start. Not necessarily a fun start to watch, as you were talking about. I mean, you're up 49-0, I think, on CA on the Kings Academy in week 1.
Yes, sir. Won
that one 49-8. Up 50-7 at halftime against Trinity this past weekend. Win that one 56-21. Taking care of your business early on. I mean, how do you get your guys to do that this last couple of weeks, and how do you continue it?
Yeah, you know, really, it's just focusing on us. That's kind of what we've been preaching is focusing on doing your job every play. Not every play is going to be perfect. You know, obviously, you would like it to be, but it's not going to be. So what's the response? You know, what's the response when things don't go your way? And I think we've done a really good job these past really 4 weeks or so of handling our emotion, handling our response, not getting too up when things go good or too low when, you know, we have a hiccup, but really just staying the course and staying even keel.
You mentioned 4 straight wins. That builds a lot of confidence, I would think.
Absolutely. Our kids are confident right now. You know, it's nothing like Friday nights getting out there playing, and we got a lot of guys that when the lights come on, you know, they really show up and they're playing like it right now, and hopefully it can continue.
You know, a few weeks ago I was over here for a game, and I was walking past your senior banners down there at the far end of the field, and I noticed all of your football guys, and I'm sure you've noticed it too. You probably knew it when they did it. They're pointing to their ring finger.
Yes, sir.
You know, they saw baseball get a state championship back in the spring. Probably a little bit of motivation. For
Yeah, you know,
well.
absolutely. You know, coming off last year's semifinal loss to Middle, you know, we felt like, you know, we were right there. You know, 8 points away in that semifinal loss. Our guys knew the kind of team we had coming back. You know, and we talk openly that teams have windows. You know, certain teams have windows, and you know, not every team has the opportunity to win a state championship. I remember my senior year, one of our team goals was win a state championship. We were 3-7, you know, and you know, as a high school kid, you're like, yeah, I want to go win it. But realistically, you know, we didn't have the horses. You know, this year, this team, you know, we feel like that we have an opportunity. You know, obviously you got to go work and everything, but we're not going to shy away from it. And we're going to do our best to try to reach that potential.
You know, you talk about that state semifinal last year, 35-27, lost to Middle Tennessee Christian. Middle Tennessee Christian beat you to start your season, beat you to end your season, and I would imagine that's something that is kind of graded on these guys.
Absolutely. You know, once they beat us last year in the semifinals, we knew,
and then went and won it.
And won it all. You know, we felt like that. You know, we were 8 points away, and you know, I'm not going to lie, we really looked forward to opening the season at Middle Tennessee Christian this season, and because, you know, yeah, we were motivated, you know, and you know, the guys know how close we were. They tasted it last year, and they're pretty determined and motivated right now.
You know, again, this team has gotten off to some pretty quick starts the last couple of weeks, and a lot of it has been your senior running back. Monte Baldwin isn't going to sneak up on anybody. He's certainly not going to sneak up on Donaldson Christian, but he's gone for, I think it was 308 yards in the first half of your last 2 games.
Wow.
With 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Scored on the 3rd play from scrimmage the other night out here against Trinity. I mean, he really gets you guys jump started.
Absolutely. You know, school's leading rusher. In high school football, you know, it's about the run game. You know, it's on defense. Can you stop the run? On offense, can you establish the run? And having a back like Monte definitely helps us do that. Running behind our offensive line is you know, a great advantage for us. And you know, it's no secret you're going to focus on number 3. You know, the DCA is going to focus on number 3. So we've got to really do our job and make sure we get a hat on the hat up front and give him an area or space to run.
Stephen Neves has thrown for 1,800 yards, 22 touchdowns. But last week against Trinity, he ran it 4 times for 46 yards, scored twice. Is that a wrinkle? Is that something new that you feel like having that on tape is something else DCA's got to worry about?
Well, you know, I think anytime that the quarterback is a run threat, that's another, you know, thing that you have to worry about. Obviously, with Monte in the backfield, you can't just sell out for Monte. Steven he's sneaky athletic. You know, he's when he gets in the open, he's got good speed. He's got good moves. And he can really make you pay. He's smart. You know, he reads the plays really well, and you know, he does a good job of getting when he can and taking advantage of it.
DCA looks like they've got some big playability. How much of a concern is that for you, especially considering the 80-yarder you gave up the other night?
Oh yeah, no, they got some great players. I think it starts with Carson Sneed. He's you know, going to Tennessee or committed right now. Who knows what'll happen? He's only a junior,
right?
But he's, you know, Division I, you know, material, and 22. He's a great player, quarterback, can throw it anywhere on the field. He's got a great arm. He's athletic. He's a big kid. So yeah, they've got some weapons, and it definitely you know, makes you lose a little sleep knowing that they have those guys out there, and you know, they have that potential. Like I said, we just have to do our job and make sure that we don't give up the big play and make them earn every yard.
You know, this is y'all's 4th semifinal berth. They've won 4 state championships. Now, I don't know that anybody on this team has won one, but I mean, they do have that tradition. How big a factor is that come Friday night?
Absolutely. It's kind of the expectation. You know, at DCA, the expectation is go win a gold ball. And like I said, Coach Wade did a great job up there for years. Coach Pierce is doing a great job of in his first year of, you know, double-digit wins, and he's got that program rolling right now. And they're believing. And, you know, here, you know, we haven't won one yet, but it's definitely the expectation for deep postseason runs. And like I said, you got 2 teams rolling in with a lot of momentum, and I think it's going to be real fun Friday.
You know, and when you talk about windows, this is y'all's last year in D2A. You go to AA next year. I mean, how important is it? How heavy is it to try to get it done this year?
Yeah, you know, like I said, you have opportunities, and you know, Division I, 1A, Division I, or excuse me, the 1A or 2A, the roster that we have, we feel like that we can compete. Who knows what's going to happen next year? You know, we've looked and seen kind of where we're placed try not to look too far ahead of that. After the season, we'll kind of dive in and see what we need to do. But really just trying to take advantage right now.
Seth Anderson, third-year Columbia Academy football coach. His Bulldogs will be taking on Donaldson Christian here Friday night, 7 o'clock. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
7 o'clock. I'm Maurice Patton. We'll see y'all in a little bit.
Hello, I'm Rick Whitley.
And I'm Daniel Pollard from Jones and Lang Sporting Goods. We would like to take this opportunity to thank all of you for the many years of support. Since 1966, Jones and Lang has been locally owned and operated and supplying teams from T-ball to college. Stop by and see what we can do for you. We offer a wide variety of services from silk screening and embroidery to our custom trophy and awards department.
We're open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, and Saturday, 9 to noon. Remember, Jones and Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Welcome to JHA Company, your trusted scholastic partner. We continue to serve schools with yearbooks, letter jackets, and graduation regalia. But now we offer so much more. Our school photography division offers high-quality images that capture the spirit and energy of your students and staff. Let us help build your identity, creating a cohesive look that represents your school's values and traditions. Our e-commerce solutions make it easy for schools to manage and sell their branded apparel online. Let's work together to make every school year unforgettable. Visit our website or contact us today to learn more. JHA Company, celebrating achievements, building identities, and creating memories.
Do you want to be a bad man? Yes, you do. Do you want to taste sweet salvation underneath the summer moon? Do you need another hand now? Yes, you do. Go see Miss Josie down on Columbus Avenue. All right, Columbus Avenue.
He shoots and he scores!
Welcome back to the final segment of the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show, presented by 10 Pin Alley Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. It's nice to be able to spend a little time with Nick Patterson in your case, Seth Anderson in my case, and get their thoughts on these upcoming matchups. Let's throw some predictions at you to wind this thing up. Last week I went 2-1. Missed being perfect by 3 points, as it turns out. But Wade did not pick a winner of the Giles County, Meigs County game, so he was 2-0. So there's our results for the season to this point. Let's see what we can do this week, starting with Donaldson Christian at Columbia Academy. Again, the Wildcats coming in here 10-2. Having lost earlier this year to the host Bulldogs, 28-7. Columbia Academy coming in at 9-3 and playing a third straight home game. Donaldson Christian, again, won a big game on the road this past weekend, defeating host Friendship Christian 35-28. So they're kind of used to being in this position, but the last time they were here, it did not go well.
Yeah, and I think all that kind of has to get taken into consideration. But at the end of the day, I just like what Columbia Academy is doing right now. And until the unfortunate part for them is their next bad game, I mean, there's no room for error. And if they have a bad game, they'll be on the side of the road watching the rest of the playoffs going without them. But the way they're playing right now, I can't go against Columbia Academy. Throw everything out the window for me. Yeah, DCA is playing well, but I just think Columbia Academy is playing at a higher level, and especially playing at home, I think will be a big factor for them in this win.
It really is tough to pick against Columbia Academy, particularly in this matchup. And if we've mentioned his name once, we've mentioned it 100 times on this show. But Monte Baldwin went for 241 yards in that 28-7 win against DCA earlier this year. He went for 307 at their place a year ago. They don't want to see this kid anymore.
Fatigue, right?
He wants to see them, though, and I think his eyes are probably going to light up. And on that basis, I'm taking Columbia Academy in this game as well. Our other game in Class 1A state quarterfinal action, again, Richland travels out west to take on, as you mentioned, Class 1A royalty, McKenzie. People in this area are familiar with McKenzie, particularly going back to week 10 when the Rebels came to the Brickyard and dealt Giles County one of its biggest losses at the Brickyard, probably.
Yeah, McKenzie is as good as advertised, to Mo's point. And Giles County fans, during our broadcast that night, Chris Bledsoe and I pointed out, hey, as bad as it is, Giles County, that probably is going to be the most talented team that you would see until you potentially got to Alcoa in the semifinals. We're talking about a 1A team that came in and humbled you. McKenzie is great. This is going to be a monumental task for Richland. The good news for Richland is they're playing with a lot of confidence. And Eagleville kind of hung tough. It was only 7-0 at halftime versus McKenzie. Ends up being 28-0. All that being said, it is going to be really, really difficult, I think. McKenzie's defense kind of gets kind of to Richland's credit as well. The defense kind of gets overshadowed with some of the numbers and just freakish stat lines that Tate Serber puts up. Serber is trying to inflict more pain on Richland faithful. He's knocked them out in a basketball sectional several years ago. He knocked them out in the last 2 baseball sectionals. I'll be on an analyst role, so I feel comfortable giving this pick Friday night, but I think Tate Serber also gives Richland fans a little extra dose of heartburn. I think he ends the Raiders season. No disrespect to the Raiders, because there's going to be a lot of teams, I think, that by the end of this year will be tired of hearing Tate Serber. I think McKenzie wins this game, and I think Richland, though, does keep it a little closer than the experts might think.
We've talked a lot on this show about Richland, and one of the things that we've said is whether or not a team is prepared to defend the Raiders' offense all over the field. And most teams haven't been. I think McKenzie is.
McKenzie is the real deal. And Giles County was playing very poorly that night. And they still gave McKenzie a decent enough game. That is a very good, very well-coached Giles County team. Richland is well-coached as well. I just think McKenzie's got too many weapons. We're talking about a team that, again, 3 straight years in the championship game. And I don't see any reason that they won't be getting back to that round as well. I think McKenzie's got the goods to beat Richland, especially at home.
Yeah, I just think that, like you said, too many weapons and too much ability to slow down Richland's weapons. I've got McKenzie at home in this one as well. The winner of that ball game advances to the Class 1A semifinals against the winner of Union City and Mace. Memphis Academy of Science and Engineering, for those wondering what that acronym stands for. So, and it would be on the road. So, either Richland or McKenzie will be traveling the Thursday after Thanksgiving. And, that's one of the things that a lot of programs talk about, practicing Thanksgiving week. That's really a badge of accomplishment. And, you'd like to see Richland get to that, but I don't think it happens, unfortunately. Winner of DCA and Columbia Academy obviously is in the December 5th state championship game. That'll be a 2:00 start down at Findlay Stadium Central Time against the winner of Jackson Christian and Nashville Christian. The Eagles have to go on the road. The Eagles defeating both Donaldson Christian and Columbia Academy during the regular season. So we'll get a matchup if it's NCS advancing out of that, get a rematch, excuse me. So that's going to do it here for the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show as we get you ready for week 3 of the playoffs. And we'll be back next week to get you ready for week 4. That's Wade Neely. I'm Maurice Patton. Again, the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show is presented by 10 Pin Alley, Eat, Play, Party, and by the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk. We will see you all next Wednesday at 5 o'clock.
This is the Southern Middle Tennessee High School Football Show with your hosts, Maurice Patton and Wade Neely. Proudly presented each week by our friends at the Tennessee Highway Safety Office. Fans don't let fans drive drunk.